Stefon Diggs is officially traded from the Buffalo Bills to the Houston Texans. And I heard some not reports rumbling, that the Houston could be a landing spot for him in general. The reason why I'm a little surprised is, before I tell you the trade package, is because Gabe Davis was already gone as well. But the package is, and there's a little backstory I need to tell you after you get a quick reaction, then we'll get into the deeper reaction analysis of this. But Stefon Diggs will be gone. The Bills will receive a 2025 second-round pick via the Minnesota Vikings, while the Texans get Diggs, a sixth-round pick this year, and a 2025 fifth-rounder next year. I think, obviously, the second round is a big piece of that return. Giving away those two could just simply be getting off his contract, if that's the case.
Man, the value
There's
dropped.
$30 million dead cap in that as well. Actually, I'll just quickly say it now. There was like a RG3, Robert Griffin III, dropped the thing like, does Josh Allen's success go is a big reason of Stefon Diggs, something like that. And then some fan or someone responded by saying like, yes, obviously he got better because Josh Allen was better because of a good receiver. But if you're saying that Diggs was Diggs is the reason alone, no, or something. And then Diggs responds with, you sure about that? And then less than 24 hours later, he got traded.
Oh yeah, but this thing was like brewing from a long time ago. It's not just that conversation as well. One thing that pisses me off is that you got this right. Couldn't get anything else right regarding free agency, but you have to get the thing that's right that causes our team a little bit of pain.
I didn't say Texans though.
I thought you did say Texans.
No.
Okay, then never mind.
No, okay. I did say the Texans should go after him if he were to be available. I said that about the Texans for Mike Evans and all these guys. So
I remember you made this prediction about Man United or something that caused Man United to lose or something. You got it right.
I don't know, but no, I remember me saying that Diggs could be gone, and you saying that you were saying not fully the opposite, but something else against me. I was just saying that because the drama's too much and all that stuff. And
I'm just saying that
clearly it is.
I was just saying the situation was like, you're really gonna let him go when you're trying to win type of thing. But then again, I think ultimately, I think it is a good move. As much of a Diggs fan I am, right? He is 30. He is coming off his worst year.
You got a second out of it.
You're not gonna get the package wasn't gonna get any better.
Yeah.
Right. Like we saw this trade with DeAndre Hopkins when he was around 30 years old, when he got traded to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
We saw the offer for Julio Jones going from Atlanta to Tennessee. Right. The offers are not great at the end of the day. These players are first round pick worthy trades, but at the end of the day, age matters in the NFL. Once you reach 30, your value drops incredibly. In the sense of Houston, a massive dub, I will have to put him top 3, questionable, tied for 3 in the AFC. Chiefs being 1, the Ravens being 2, and them and the Bengals duking it out for 3 as my top AFC teams at the moment. I have them ahead of everyone. In the East, I have everyone ahead of the South at the moment. CJ Stroud's a baller. He just got more weapons. Nico Collins is coming off a career year, and he should be getting more open because attention is going to be paid to Diggs. You brought back Schultz. Your line is still the same.
You added
You could improve the line a little bit more.
You added Joe Mixon.
Had the draft for that. You added Joe Mixon. You added Daniil Hunter. Right? Will Anderson's only going to get better. Jalen Petrie is only going to get better. You have Jimmy Ward. You have D'Amico Ryans. And you also have a long shot in Jeff Okudah. And then Derek Stingley, who finally kind of broke out this year as well.
Yeah.
So, Texans just, Nick Caserio, well done. Round of applause to you. Because you just put on a GM masterclass in these last couple of years. Being able to... Ever since he got hired, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Dealing with the Deshaun Watson situation. Building your young core. And now signing these veterans to establish your young core, elevate your young core while most of your young core, aka Stroud and Anderson, are on their rookie deals. So hats off to Nick Caserio, and I do believe Houston is a top 3 team in the AFC at the moment.
Okay, so my analysis on the Houston Texans very quickly. You kind of covered a lot of it, and I agree with a lot of that as well. They won free agency for me, right? On the flip side, the Bills lost free agency, but we'll get that in a second. Yeah, at the end of the day, when it comes to the NFL, rebuilds can happen quick as long as you have the right quarterback. And you see what happened with the New York Jets these past couple of years. They just didn't get the quarterback right. Cleveland Browns didn't get the quarterback right, and other teams as well, right, around the NFL.
Colts.
Colts, yeah, but again, they didn't really draft as well. But I'm just saying, like, more so the drafting guys, as like the Jets went from Sam Darnold to Zach Wilson, right, before they took brought in Aaron Rodgers. But in this case, you hit a home run. You got luck. You won the game against the Colts to get you CJ Stroud. Otherwise, you might be standing here with Bryce Young. Again, Bryce Young could have been good. I'm not gonna take away anything, right? A name you forgot to mention, Bobby Slowick.
Oh
Who
yeah.
should have been having head coaching opportunities. He just elected to stay. I think he got a bigger contract as well. Probably should be a head coaching candidate next year, along with guys like Ben Johnson and whoever else is going to be available. But yeah, see, you got CJ Stroud right, and because of that, this is exactly what I wanted the Colts to do. You did that in Houston. 'Cause we still need to see what Anthony Richardson is, but you added Daniil Hunter to the line to help out a guy like
Anderson.
Will Anderson. You have your safeties. You added low risk, high reward type guys in Jeff Okudah as well. You have Derek Stingley, like you said. So they did that. On the offensive side, I did say, like, as much as a good of a year Nico Collins had, I still need to see if he's actually a one. So go get him a veteran. They were in on Keenan Allen, didn't get him. They ended up getting Stefon Diggs. I'm not saying he did not obviously have a good year compared to Keenan Allen, especially, but you get him in, so you have 1A and 1B, I guess you could say right now.
Yeah, and
For now, we'll see, and then we'll see what Diggs' attitude's gonna be like because he wasn't getting the ball much last year or what or the year before. That's what maybe the big complaints was.
the Bills were kind of doing better without him as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense as well.
So
Another thing is
when you have Bobby Slowick calling plays, I'm sure he'll get both guys involved. Plus, you got Tank Dell coming back. You have John Mechie there, who could be a guy for them.
yeah, you got 4.
And then you have Joe Mixon. Now you got a good run option there. And then you brought back Dalton Schultz as a good veteran tight end.
You're
right?
set. You're just set.
So yeah, I do. 3. Yeah, they're definitely behind the Chiefs and Ravens probably. I would put them in the same tier as the Bengals, Jets, and Dolphins right now.
Nah, Dolphins.
I'm gonna just say that.
They're
Because,
ahead of the Dolphins.
I'm just gonna put that's
Jets.
me.
Jets at the end of the day still are a question mark. If I'm giving them proper ranking, I'm giving them a tie for 3 with the Bengals
Yeah.
because you still respect Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
And then on the other sense, Diggs, wherever Diggs went, right, the quarterback play gets elevated, right?
True.
Right,
Which is
and that's
fair.
another thing. This is a big W for Tank Dell because his injury was big, right? It was
Yeah.
a terrible injury, and now he doesn't have to be forced back, right? He could be eased back in. He doesn't have to go all 100%, which could be good for him health-wise. Yeah, one issue is how is the locker room chemistry going to face with a guy like Diggs who has been complaining the last couple years,
Including Minnesota a little bit.
and Minnesota where he was complaining a little bit too. But no, there's no question of talent. Diggs is still a top 10 receiver in the game.
Yeah, he has a good dual partner. He had
Yeah.
it in Thielen, right? I think Nico Collins is better than Gabe Davis. So
Oh yeah.
so there's that as well, right?
Bills side.
Before we go to the Buffalo side of things, as Colts fans, you guys are probably wondering, yes, we're annoyed. This is what we wanted them to do. Our secondary, please go add someone. We brought back Julian Blackmon, so hopefully it's a Quandre Diggs. And
Hey man, I'll be happy with a Gilmore and Diggs.
yeah, and then
Draft
but we had
Brock
we had a
Bowers.
whole indie reaction. We're probably gonna drop a video on that soon. But we dropped it a couple of episodes ago as well before, he got sick and now I got sick. But let's talk about Buffalo to close it out because this is, like I said, we went from probably one of the biggest winners in free agency to now one of the biggest losers along with the Chargers. They don't have Gabe Davis anymore. Their wide receiver one currently is Shakir, right? They have now, like the Chiefs, they have good tight end options in Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Fair. James Cook had a good year under Joe Brady as the OC, right? So the question is, what can you do going forward? Obviously, you have to draft someone. You got rid of guys like Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Von Miller did not have a great year for you.
I mean,
their center is gone. Mitch Morse, I believe, is his name, and
you can't really hate the moves either. 'Cause
yeah, they're freeing up cap
all
space,
these guys are they're old, they're freeing up cap space.
and they're injury prone.
and they're injury prone, right? Like their safeties are never healthy. Tre'Davious White, for as good as he is, he's not healthy, which is going to affect his play now. Hopefully, he does bounce back with the Rams. Um, Von Miller hasn't been that guy, that the edge rusher they needed to close out games. Von Miller wasn't that guy. And in the sense of obviously Diggs, it was just kind of brewing at this rate.
Yeah.
And the window has closed
For this year.
for the next couple of years, I would say.
I would say this year only because you still have Josh Allen and you saw what they did
Without,
with CJ Stroud. Houston did with CJ Stroud literally in a year. So if you're
it
saying
could be a year, yeah.
so
It could be a year.
depending on how they draft and how they develop and if they
Yeah,
have
but
the cap space.
But that's also that we don't know how they're gonna draft,
Yeah,
how they're gonna
currently,
develop,
yes,
right?
they're third in the division.
So that's
Currently,
2 years.
Right now, they're third in the division, right? Assuming Aaron Rodgers is healthy, right? For me,
Well, you still never know. Dolphins always choke.
true, but like
Right.
again, Josh
And
Allen is
honestly,
that good. Josh Allen is that
He
good.
is that good.
So I won't be surprised if they even do good next year in general because you have Josh Allen. I don't think they will be going in with Shakir as wide receiver 1. So there are options available. So these are the names I'm going to throw out there that could be there. T. Higgins, he wants a wide receiver 1 opportunity. This is a good spot for him because you have 2 good tight ends, right?
Here's the
Number
thing
2.
with that, yeah.
Number 2. I'm going to name
Yeah,
the names quickly.
name it, yeah, first.
And the other 2 I thought of on the top of my head, because obviously the big ones are all off the board at this point, which is why this kind of surprised me, is one of Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk, who needs to get paid. And if Brandon Ayuk,
It's probably
who's-
Ayuk.
who is no, because they're saying they're trying the people. They're honestly Deebo's more in the trade rumors than Brandon
Actually?
Ayuk. Yeah,
Wow.
because they would rather keep Ayuk. And by how underrated Ayuk is as a wide receiver 1, obviously you as an Indy Colts fan wanted him so bad as well as me. But if you give Josh Allen Ayuk, I think they're back right there.
Oh,
they,
yeah,
need
yeah.
they need to figure out the defense. Don't get me wrong. I get that part, but I'm saying offensively they will be back if they get one of
It's
these 3
also-
guys, especially Ayuk.
It's also a deep wide receiver class as well.
Yeah, and then add a receiver through depth.
Yeah.
Or they trade up and get Marvin Harrison.
No,
Jr.,
there's
which is not gonna
definitely a
happen.
lot of question marks on defensively as well, especially
yeah.
that regarding the secondary. Rasul Douglas is a good player. He's gonna be leading, and Taron Johnson. I think safety wise, they definitely have more question marks for sure. At the end of the day, I don't think the Bills all season was like an L, like how the Chargers had an L. In the sense that the Bills need to make changes, right? And the changes you need to make is get rid of old guys hogging all your money, right? Draft good these next couple of years, and let's see if you got a guy like Ayuk and stuff, things like that. I think Allen should be playing better in the sense of now he's gonna have the run game is there now, right? A run game exists in Buffalo, right? A run game does exist in Buffalo, which is gonna help Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Another thing is they did play better when Diggs didn't get like as many touches, right? Like Diggs didn't feel involved in the offense, but they were winning games. And Diggs did go on that streak where he didn't get 100 yards. I think on like 10 games in a row. And that's kind of a case, you know, those are the games you won where Diggs wasn't producing because you kind of didn't need him. And then point number 3 is Josh Allen might throw less interceptions. 1, because he might run himself and get 2,000 yards as a quarterback. Number 2, he's not going to force the ball to Diggs anymore because there's no one complaining to get the ball.
The winner before I close it out here, Diggs is a winner too because CJ Stroud is very good with the football. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
making, right? But yeah, no, it's gonna be. Let's see if how much Josh Allen is gonna be Superman this year. But for me, Sean McDermott is on the hot seat. I think this is his last year, as well.
I think he gets 2 in the sense of like,
I think he gets this.
I think it's 2.
I think it's just this. Like if they some.
Hey
I
man,
don't
this
know.
is like kind of make or break. If they make the playoffs and win the division,
But then
Sean McDermott's gonna have a lot to do with that.
I get that too. But again, like owners don't care, right? At the end of the day, if it's not the big one, owners don't care. Like I was not surprised he did not get fired, but I wouldn't have been shocked if he got fired. Coming out of that.
Yeah, it's hard to fire a guy who's been there for like almost 10 years now.
I get
as well.
that too, but again,
Right, yeah,
shit happens.
the same thing as
Maybe
Tomlin.
he steps down
Tomlin
because
only
of
won
this.
once. Why isn't Tomlin fired?
Yeah, no, fair.
Right.
I get that. Same thing with Belichick. The last.
Same thing with Shanahan. Shanahan hasn't won. Won.
Yeah, no fair. I said Shanahan might be in trouble too in the next couple of years if he doesn't win the big one.
The only guy who deserved to be safe for all these years was Bill Belichick.
Yeah, and Andy Reid.